Shahbaz's inheritance. In Baghdad, Shahbaz inherited as much wealth as his brothers, but he did not use it wisely. He was very polite and well behaved and knew how to please people, but he wasted the money and had to beg for food and money. He thought it would serve his purpose if he made friends with servants of rich people. Then he would get some money from them. He saw a mansion where a rich Barmecide lived. Barmecides was said to be generous, so he asked the servant at the gate for some alms. The servant told him to go in and ask the master. Shahbaz walked through many richly furnished rooms till he reached the one in which sat an old man with a flowing white beard. He welcomed Shahbaz politely and asked him why he had come. Shahbaz told him that he hoped to receive some alms from him, for he was very poor and lived by begging. The imaginary feast. The old man sat up and said, "You are poor in Baghdad. I must help you." He pretended to wash his hands, rubbing them together, and said, "Wash your hands too." Shahbaz imitated him, rubbing his hands as if washing them. Then he called to an imaginary servant to fetch food. No servant or food arrived, but the Barmecide acted as if there were tasty dishes on the table, and he served and ate them with relish. Thoroughly puzzled, Shahbaz again imitated him, appreciating and eating the food that was not there. The Barmecide even gave him an imaginary glass of wine, which Shahbaz pretended to drink and enjoy. In fact, he acted as if he was drunk and thumped the Barmecide on his back. He apologized immediately, saying, "It's because of the wine that I am drunk." The Barmecide burst out laughing at Shahbaz's cleverness. The new friend. The Barmecide said, "I have always wanted a friend who understood my sense of humor. Now I have found one." He called his servant and asked him to serve a lavish feast, a real one. Music was played while he ate. After that, he gave Shahbaz some of his own robes to wear. Shahbaz was really treated like a dear friend and stayed on in the house of the Barmecide. Shahbaz was trusted to look after his house and all his business matters. He too served the Barmecide faithfully and became worthy of his trust. 20 years passed and the Barmecide, growing old, died. He had no family or children, so his property was taken over by the king, and once again Shahbaz found himself homeless on the streets. He did not want to go back to begging, so he joined a caravan that was going to Mecca. To Baghdad, the caravan that Shahbaz joined had to cover a long route, often through deserts, to reach Mecca. The journey had many dangers, apart from the difficulty of traveling in the heart of the desert. Unfortunately, the caravan met with one of the dangers on the way. Bedouin tribesmen roamed the desert and attacked the pilgrims after holding them to ransom. They attacked the caravan and imprisoned Shahbaz, hoping to get some ransom in exchange for him. They tortured him to find out more about him. But soon they learned that he had nothing and no relatives who would pay a single coin for him. They were so disgusted that they put him on a camel and left him on top of a barren mountain to fend for himself as best as he could. Poor Shahbaz would have died if a caravan had not passed that way and carried him to Baghdad. The ungrateful snake. A traveler on a camel passing through a thorny forest saw that an old campfire had caused a forest fire. A large snake was caught in the fire and was crying out for help. The compassionate traveler took a saddlebag from a camel's back and opening its mouth, he fixed a spear into it and extended it to the snake. The snake slid over the spear into the bag safely. The traveler opened the mouth of the bag to release the snake and told it to go away. But the ungrateful snake said it would harm both him and his camel. The traveler was shocked and asked, "Why should you repay my kindness by killing me? Doing a good deed for someone unworthy is as bad as an evil deed against a good person," said the snake. "Who told you to return evil for good?" asked the traveler. "I learnt that from humans only," replied the snake. The cow's opinion. "We should not decide this only on your opinion," said the traveler. "Let us ask some witnesses first." The snake agreed, and seeing a cow grazing there, they went to ask her, "What should be the return for someone giving us a benefit?" asked the snake. "Human beings always pay back good with evil," said the cow. "I served a farmer loyally all my life, giving him calves, milk, and butter for his children. And when I grew old, the farmer uncaringly threw me out of the shed and sent me off to graze in the forest. Now, when I am fat and content in my old age, he brought a butcher here to see me and sold me to him. Tomorrow he will kill me." "You have heard the cow," said the snake. "I think I should kill you now." "Wait," said the traveler. "Let us ask one more witness." The tree's evidence. Seeing a bare twisted tree, they asked it how a good deed should be repaid. "Do what human beings do," said the tree sadly. "Look at me. I used to be full of leaves and fruits. I gave shade to travelers and fruits to tired people. But they cut my twigs to make arrows. They chopped off my branches to make a plow. And my trunk has been chopped again and again to give them planks. In return for my kindness in giving them shade and rest, they tore me down and injured me so much. Now you know how humans repay goodness," said the snake. "I must do the same." "Please, let us ask just one more witness," pleaded the traveler. "I want to live my life peacefully and have done you no harm." The snake finally agreed to ask one last witness. The fox's justice. A fox had been watching everything from among the bushes and he came out. He said to the traveler, "The return for good is always evil. Don't you know that? But what good have you done to the snake for him to retaliate like this?" The traveler told the fox about how he saved the snake from the fire. "You are telling lies," said the fox. "No, he is speaking the truth," said the snake. "That is the bag. But how can an enormous snake like you get into a little bag like that?" asked the surprised fox. "I'll show you," said the snake, and he slithered into the bag. "Young man, you must not show mercy to the unworthy enemy," said the fox. Immediately, the traveler understood what he meant. He shut the bag and threw it on a stone, killing the evil snake. He had learnt the lesson of good and evil.
Thanks for watching. Do like, share, subscribe to Sahil Book House.